see that Dennis has a question, so if you will unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Smith. I think Ms. Wan mentioned something about a 20% increase or emissions. I believe it was just, it wasn't HAPS, but I just kind of, she could explain more about the 20% increase and something about explaining why the increase.
Okay, I think I can take this one, and then Jing, if you have any more additional information, just let me know. So one of our QA checks is we look to see if the emissions that you're reporting is either 20% different, high or low from your previous year's submission. That's just a check for us, just to make sure that we're understanding what's going on with your facility. So we might reach out and say, hey, we've noticed that your emissions this year is 33% less than, your last submittal. Is there a reason for this? It could be as simple as production was lower at your facility and therefore the emissions were lower. But it just involves one of the QA checks that we have.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Let's see, does anyone else have a question? Oh, let me check the chat too, just to make sure.
Yeah, I don't see any questions in the chat. We'll give it maybe a few minutes to allow people to type it out, or at least think of any questions.
And we're also hopefully posting the presentation online and the recording as well. So you'll have access to this information.
Dennis, did you have another question?
It's funny, I actually do, but I didn't mean to leave my hand raised.
Okay,
so you mentioned about EPA assigning a control pollutant to each control device. Is that, if you could elaborate more what that is? I did use CAERS last year, was my first time. So I wonder if I missed that or something new.
Oh, I remember your name. I think, Jing, if you want to take this one.
Hey, thanks for your question. Yes, for QA check at CAERS, now if you have a control device or control path, facility sometimes forgot about the assigned controlled pollutant. So this is one of the QA check will be implemented at CAERS. So if you're missed control pollutant, and system will remind you to see you have a arrow message says you have this control device or control path do not have any pollutants signed.
Does anybody else have any questions? And again, we'll be available like we have been the last few years during our help sessions if you have anything specific that you need help with for your facility. Oh, that's a good question. Where will this recording be saved? So it's going to be saved on the Georgia EPD emission inventory website. It takes a little while for us to get approval to post information, but I'm hoping maybe in a week or so that we'll be able to have that uploaded for you guys to view. When will the AEI modules open up for synthetic minor permits? I have no idea what that means, Tanis. Does anybody have any understanding of what that means?
I'm not sure.
Are you specifically talking about if you need to opt out? Oh, hopefully soon. We're in the process of starting to make the videos. I don't want to give you a date on that because this is pretty new for us. We're going to have to upload the videos onto YouTube and send a link. So maybe by the end of March, well, you should start seeing some clips pop up. We do have a question. When will let me see, what does this say? Oh, I show 2021 does not show as an available fee year. Yeah, so we strictly just do the emissions inventory. We don't have any dealings with the emission fees. So for that, you're probably going to have to contact either Sean Hayes or Tammy Tucker. If you send an email to me, I'll send you my email, then I can try to forward you to the appropriate person. Let's see. And the next person, so we are required to submit our PTE calculations as a part of the opt-out process. Correct. That's my understanding, Maria, right?
Yes, and you don't have to like provide all the PTE calculations. We'd like to see where it's located. You could do a screenshot. It's for us to see what was calculated because it's hard for us to like, cross-reference everywhere. So we're hoping that the facility has this information. If you need help with that, we can, you could ask the permanent engineer, or if you have any specific troubles with it, just reach out to emissions.inventory. Right, yeah. I'm trying to think of like the best way. If you could just do like a screenshot of the totals and when those PTEs were submitted. Does that kind of help? And we're just looking at the final, just the facility-wide PTE. I'm not interested in like the individual units.
Yeah. So we don't need unit by unit, just the facility-wide PTE.
Yeah, for some facilities, you can actually look it up on GEOS. Sometimes it's uploaded up there on there, but sometimes it's not. So we'll have the facility will need to provide some kind of proof.
All right. So she's, Alexander's gone. If there's no other questions, thank you again for your attendance and participation, and we look forward to your submittals.